Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell. Glad you could stop by. And today we have an Ontario Rat Model 1 to look at. It's a real interesting knife, and I think you're going to want to see it. So come on in here. Let's get a look at it. Let's take a look around the Ontario Rat Model 1. We have what Ontario calls nylon 6 scales. I think that's a fancy way of saying plastic. But they work pretty well. They've got a nice texture on them without being overly grippy. The knife comes in and out of the pocket easily with this texture, and it's enough grip that you're not going to lose the knife, especially with the handle shape. And as we move on around to the back side, we can see we have stainless steel liners and pillar construction flow through. Very nice. And onto the other side, we can see our lanyard hole, which you kind of got to stuff, but you can get 550 paracord through there. And our pocket clip. Very reminiscent of a Benchmade pocket clip or an Emerson pocket clip. Very similar design and works rather well. Rolling it around to the top, we can see one of the things that makes Ontario Knife Company and their Taiwan produced knives a standout. This thing is centered extremely well. And just for reference, I have 3 rats here. This one, as we'll see, has barely been used, but none of the 3 of these rats have been taken apart. There have been no adjustments to the pivot screw or anything. This is how they came from the factory. Every one of them perfectly centered. Alright, let's go ahead and run through our closed numbers. We have a length of 5 inches or 12.7 centimeters, a thickness of 0.51 or 1.3 centimeters, and a height of 1.3 or 3.3 centimeters. All in all, a decently slim knife. Once we have the Ontario Rat 1 open, we have 8 9/16 or 21.7 centimeters for the tip to tail length, a blade length of 3.6 inches or 9.14 centimeters, and a cutting edge of about 3.3 inches or 8.4 centimeters. And our stock thickness, they listed at 0.115. I got 0.12 or 3 millimeters whenever I measured it. Our blade is made out of AUS 8 steel with a hardness of 55 to 56 HRC. And that's a bane and a standout feature of the Rat Model 1. Being softer at 55 to 56 HRC than most of the knife steels, the AUS 8 does not hold an edge for a ridiculously long time. However, AUS 8 at that hardness can be sharpened on almost anything. So for your bug out bag knife or your woods knife, this is a pretty good deal. You can sharpen this on just about anything that's slightly abrasive. For blade design, we have a drop point with a very abrupt belly here, and it's full flat ground. Makes this a great little cutter. And right up here we have a bit of a thumb ramp with some jimping on it. One thing to note about the blade is we've got some really big thumb studs on this knife. They're proportioned fairly well for the knife, but they seem big compared to most others. But they work really, really well, as we're about to see. And here we come to one of the best parts of the Ontario Rat series of knives. Whenever you go to open this thing, it is smooth and easy. Just a little push, and that thing flicks right open. In fact, the detent is set up in such a way that it's kind of hard to open it in a controlled manner. It can be done, but you're going to have to practice it a little bit because it doesn't take much to open it. And this gets into handle design. The way this handle is shaped on both sides allows for very good left-handed use. Now, I'm not a true lefty. If there's a true lefty out there, please chime in. I'm one of those confused people that uses both hands. But for me, it tends to work either way. And now you may think, well, you've had that knife for a long time, and that's why the action works that well. Well, one, I haven't. This knife is not very old. Basically, it's been sharpened and carried for a couple of days and put away to wait for you guys. This Rat 1 is brand new. And whenever I say new, I picked it up this afternoon from the mailbox. It works just the same. And yes, this is the limited edition D2 model from KnifeWorks. And this gets us into ergonomics. And in your standard grip here, great. Doesn't really, this thing, you can pretty much get a hold of it any way you want to. And the knife just works. The handle is designed with such soft curves, except for right here, that there's nothing to get in your way, nothing to cause a hot spot. Yet this deep pocket right here keeps you out of the blade in most grips. And the jimping up the thumb ramp, even though that looks like some really big, possibly useless jimping, it is sharp enough, if you will, to get a hold of your hand. The build quality that we have on this Rat 1 it's really amazing for the amount of money you spend on a knife. All three of them that I've recently had my hands on, and ones I've had my hands on in the past, have all been mechanically sound, well centered. Actions have been very good. Whatever they're doing over there in Taiwan, they have some very, very good QC, or the machinery they're using to build these is just awesome. And before we kick it back out to the desk, one of you guys will own this Rat 1 sometime here soon. It has a properly sharpened edge on it, and everything works wonderfully in perfect shape. There might be a scratch or two on the pocket clip, but I think we can deal with that to have that nicely sharpened edge. Anyhow, we're going to kick it back out to the desk. So there you have it, guys, the Ontario Rat Model 1. It's a pretty darn nice knife, and they usually run right around 30 bucks, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. And you are getting way more than your money's worth with this knife. Now, the Os 8 is a little soft, but like we discussed, that gives you the opportunity, if you're out in the woods or whatever, just about anything you can find that's a little abrasive, you can sharpen this with. Bottom of a ceramic mug, or just about anything. One thing to be aware of, though, I've seen a few of these knives, and every one of them I have seen has been darn near perfect. However, Ontario only has a 1-year warranty, and it's one of those kind of hassly warranties. You have to have your receipt, you're going to have to pay to send it in. It's one of the warranties that is encouraging you to just go buy another knife, because by the time you've got your time and the shipping and all that into it, you're at what, $10, $15, and the knife costs you $25 or $30. So with that in mind, I don't suggest you buy one of these knives unless you get it from somewhere that has a very good return policy, or you can buy it in person where you can handle the knife and look it over. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to deal with a warranty like that. However, if you get a good one of these, I think it's going to be a darn good knife for a very, very long time. And I know we're here to talk about the standard model, but I just got to show off this Knife Works exclusive Rat Model 2 that I was able to get my hands on. It's a limited edition, number 543 of 960. And it's a standard Rat Model 1, but it has a D2 steel blade. And I'm really not sure how I feel about that yet. And that's why this one hasn't been sharpened, because one of the reasons I have a Rat is because of that Aus 8 and because of it being just a little bit softer and giving me that ability to sharpen it up on just about anything I come across. So this one may just get put away. And once one of you guys acquires this Rat, I may just have to buy another one. Well, there it is, guys. The Rat Model 1. Pretty darn good knife. I'd give it a thumbs up. Just be careful about where you buy it. And I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Whack that like button, share button, and send this off to your friends. And definitely hit that subscribe button. We've got that giveaway coming up soon, and this is one of them. Anyhow, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.